Hey, Quinn, obviously it's been a grind for you guys since coming back off of COVID. What are the emotions like now that the season has come to an end here?
I mean, as you know, it just ended, so I haven't really had time to reflect yet. But in regards to, the last month, it's definitely been hectic, and we knew that, it was going to be hard, but we had to, stick together and try to, play, as good as we can, every game. And I thought we really, competed, and you can really say that about our team in the last 19 games. So, for whatever it's worth, we tried our best, and I know that for a fact.
Obviously, I'm sure you're aware of the coaching staff at the moment. Their future is up in the air. Just your thoughts on what it's been like to play under Travis Green and your hopes for the future.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I love Greener and Bomber, and since I've gone here, they've really, I don't know, maybe nurtured is the word, and brought me up. And I think, last year I think we had a really good year. I had a good year, and everything was going smooth. And I think this year it was a little bit tougher, and I think I maybe learned more this year from them, to be honest. And I think they've done a tremendous job. I mean, I don't think, people can lose sight in the fact that we were one game out of the Eastern Conference or Western Conference Finals last year. And I think they're a huge part of that. So I know that was almost a year ago, but I think that, they deserve a lot of credit. And, I've said it before with, with the young guys, Brock comes in and he has a great year, and P comes in and has a great year. And then I came in, and Hogg is having a really good year this year. And I think that's a result of, Greener and Bomber.
Next up, we'll go to Patrick Johnston.
Quinn, you touched on it a little bit, but what can you, sort of looking back on the season, how do you really feel about how your season went?
I think any year you miss the playoffs is disappointing, and I don't think anyone's happy with the situation we're in right now. And so that's all I can say about that.
Were you pressing through an injury early in the season?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, we'll go to Thomas Grants.
Quinn, assuming we won't have a chance to talk to you after the season, just wanted to get your thoughts on the fact that your ELC is up, with the second contract to sign this summer.
Yeah, I mean, the complete honesty of it is I tried to do as good as a job as I could to, try to focus on the season and focus at one day at a time, and not worry about things like that. And I think, there's a lot of guys that are up, this year. And I think for the most part, it's not easy. But, I think guys like Eddie and Suts and Pierce, and, these guys are all up and they handled it really well. And for myself, I was just trying to play to the best of my abilities. And so I haven't really worried about it. And I guess now that the season's over, I can sit back and, we'll probably see what happens. And, I'll just figure it out from there.
You said that you may have learned more this season than in your rookie year. As you reflect on your performance this year, are there any areas that, and I want to frame this right, that you'll sort of look to work on in your game to try and have a better season individually and as a team next year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think last year for me, everything was, so smooth. We were having a good year and everything was going easy. And then this year was a little bit more of a learning experience, not just for me, but for everyone. And so in the sense of that, I think, I learned more this year. And then, like I've always said, going into the summer, just try to work on, every part of my game. But I think this summer I have a more specific idea of what I want to work on. And, the previous summers, it's always been, working on your skill sets and hands and mini games and everything like that. But I think this year I'm going to, be more specific on stuff that, might help me as a defenseman.
We'll take one more question for Quinn Hughes here from Ben Kuzma.
Couple from me, Quinn. You said at the outset of this season it didn't really feel like a sophomore campaign because you did have that previous exposure. Guys have asked you what you've learned, Quinn, but this has been such an unimaginable season. What did you learn more about yourself as an individual, having to handle things away from the ice whether it was COVID, the testing, or just dealing with the hard stuff of being cooped up all year?
Yeah, I think that's the word right there, is cooped up. I mean, like I said, you know, it was a difficult year, not just for me, but for, you know, everyone in the league, I'm sure. And yeah, just being cooped up in your apartment for 5 months, you know, not necessarily the funnest time, but you know, everyone in the league was dealing with it. And yeah.
We got a quick look at Jack Rathbone, and I'm hoping he's a decent tenant, or was a decent tenant, but he seems to have game, Quinn. What are your hopes for next season for the back end? Do you see potential there in some of the young guys?
Yeah, I do. I think, you know, I think Jack's a really good player, and I think that, you know, he should really, you know, be able to come in and help us next year right away. So I think this is really good for him to kind of get his feet wet with 5 or 6 games or whatever it was, and I think he's gonna come in a game 1 next year, and you know, he'll be rolling.